Hi, this is Sally Chang, Chief Instructor of Evergreen Taiji Academy. Welcome. This is our advanced extra class for our dedicated practitioners, those who have been studying for a little while or just want something a little bit more in-depth. We have these more in-depth discussions and classes once a month. So if you're joined at that level or above, you're welcome to enjoy these classes, and all the ones before, you can stream them at any time. So step out with your feet parallel to each other, toes pointed straight ahead, knees pointed straight ahead. Sink in your stance and expand the arms outward. Then raise your stance and extend the arms above the shoulders. Good, and then come down the front center line. Sink, open the joints to support the hands and the arms. Lengthen the back, lengthen your legs. Keep the crown supported as the palms come down the front center line. Then bend the knees. And so the down helps to give rise to the up, and the up, the support of the crown of the head, helps to lighten the down. Okay, so the down gives rise to the up, and the up supports the down. So instead of feeling like we get very heavy when we get closer to the earth, if your crown is suspended from above, you engage your core, then you don't feel as compressed in your joints going down. And it doesn't just feel like survival. It feels like good, like you've got plenty of cushion in you. You got plenty of shock support, cushioning in your joints. They're all moving, plenty of room in there to rotate and to move up and down with ease. So the up supports the down supports the up. Up supports the down supports the up. It's like a tree growing. It has to send the roots down in order to grow leaves out and above. Okay? And it receives the sun and the rain, send it down into the roots. So the upward motion that seeks the sunlight helps to maintain the upright structure. The roots seeking the water and the earth help to give rise to the growth of the plant. Good. All right, from here, let's just do some shaking. Stay on the center. Keep your chin slightly tucked so your head's not bobbing up and down. Keep your weight, whether you're moving up, bobbing up, or down, keep the weight in the center of your foot, centers of your feet. Turn slightly to one side. Stay in the centers of your feet. Don't allow the feet to roll to the side. Get back to center. Turn to the front. Then stay in the centers of the feet and then turn slightly to the side. Good. The weight is not in the toes, not in the side of the foot or the heels, just right on center. Turn back to the front. Stay on center. Good. And then as you raise your crown of your head and unfurl the arms down, engage your core, and then put some air into the knees, hips, elbows, and shoulders, and the hands become light. So you're going up on your A-frame, the centers of the feet, the crown of the head. You keep attention on the A-frame as you go down. You extend out, keep your core engaged as you unfurl the arms, lengthening your tendons in your arms all the way down to your fingertips, and let the hands become very light by putting air in the lower joints, hips, knees, elbows, shoulders. Okay, drop your shoulders open, drop the elbows open, and the hands become light. Good. Then from here, open your stance just a little bit longer. wider, and then drop down. Just drop down. Make sure your feet are parallel. Good, and then lengthen the hamstrings, the backs of the legs, lengthen the glutes, the lower back, and then traction the neck down. Then from there, start to rotate like a Ferris wheel. So turn, engaging your core. So the Ferris wheel is turning from the central axis of the Ferris wheel. Right, and then keep your focus on the central axis of rotation. Let the arms stay mostly parallel. Keep the shoulders, elbows, wrists, and fingers open. So you're not pushing the shoulders out. You're rotating. You're keeping the central hub rotating. And then you're also rooting into the centers of the feet. Also rooting right here, rooting down, 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 even as the arms go up, up, up. Okay, so you're balancing up and down direction. Keep your crown point supported, even though you're bending at the waist. Keep sending the roots down as you extend the fingertips out without pushing. And keep rotating on the central hub. Keep the central hub defined. Good. Then when you get to center, roll up by engaging the pelvic floor first, then roll up the spine, keeping space in the spine. Good. Okay. So from here, you're going to step out into just like a 70-30 stance, just a very comfortable walking stance. And then from here, we're going to be doing some threading. Okay, so we've done some of this in class. Some of your folks online, maybe you haven't encountered it, but it is something we like to do in class in partner work exercises, but you can also be a very useful solo exercise. Okay, so this threading, what we're doing here is we're in a 70-30 stance. I'll turn to the side so you can see it from the side. So most of my weight is in the back. Both knees, the back leg is maybe straighter, like I'm walking, but the knees have energy in them. Okay, and then the front hand, it's at an angle, so it's not horizontal, it's not vertical, 45 degrees. The back hand is right here, so the pads of the fingertips right at the level of the elbow. Then I engage my core, and I feel that core engagement stretch all the way down into the feet and then way above the head like a rubber band. And I feel like that stretch has no end. So I'm not trying to reach the end. I'm just trying to stay within that feeling of elasticity. Okay, so that keeps the joints feeling like they're moving and freely gliding. Okay, so here it's like playing the pipa or playing the lute in your Taiji. But here we're just using it as this stance. Then from here to thread, we're going to duck dive underneath the elbow. Okay, we're going to dive underneath the elbow, get to the other side, and then thread the bottom hand out. And then we're going to glide the top hand on the top of the forearm back to the level of the elbow. And when you're going to do this, so you're going to dive under the elbow, get to the opposite side, and then from here, keep your shoulders down. So you're not pushing forward with the shoulders in any way. In fact, all you're doing is turning the waist. So the turning of the waist is going to send this arm forward, sort of like a drive chain on a train, on a locomotive. So I'm turning the waist, and that's what's sending the bottom hand forward. So the bottom hand is the one that's always going to be moving forward. And because the waist is turning, the top hand is going to glide back on top of the forearm back to the original position. So you're going to get to the opposite side of the elbow. You're going to go forward just because you're turning the waist, you're not pushing. And then you're going to get to the opposite elbow and turn the waist and send the arm forward. So I'm going to get a little closer here so you can see a little bit of a close-up. Good. From here, remember it's waist turn. So this is your ready position. So the hand is not touching the elbow. It's also not pointing at the elbow. The elbow this elbow is relaxed down towards the ribs of this side. It feels like it's just gliding along the ribs. And the pads of the fingertips are at the level of the elbow. Got my 45-degree angle here, and I'm going to dive, drop my shoulder. My shoulder's actually dropping. It's not lifting to push anywhere. Okay, so I'm dropping, shoulder opens the elbow, and then I can drive this forward through the turning of my waist. The waist is turning, bottom hand drives forward, top hand drives, just draws back. And you want to contact your own skin. Okay, just lightly contact your own skin. Okay, and then you're gonna do the other side. You're gonna dive underneath your elbow and then turn the waist the other way. Send the bottom hand forward, top hand glides back. Good. Send the bottom hand forward, top hand glides back. Go under the elbow, send the bottom hand forward, top hand glides back. Dive under the elbow, bottom hand goes forward, top hand goes back. Okay, so this is all done through waist rotation. Waist rotation and the dropping of the elbow. So the elbow is dropping open and the shoulder drops open. Shoulder drops open. Elbow drops open. So my shoulder is not pushing forward. I'm not leaning forward, right? I don't want to don't want to give up my spinal verticality of my spine, okay? So from here, I want to maintain the vertical rotation of my spine, like I'm just moving, like I'm spinning a dowel, okay? So I'm just spinning a dowel. And then my arms are driving off of the turning of that dowel. That's what's happening here. So that's how the arms are mobilized. It's not the arms doing anything. Your mind should be on your central axis and on your core. That is what's driving the motion. Okay? So this is threading. Okay? Very useful to do on your own, okay? When you're here on your own, so you see how you come up and it's like an X here, and you're letting the top hand glide down, and then through waist motion, waist rotation, and I want to drill down into the centers of my feet, drop open my elbow and shoulder. Good. And then this hand, the back hand, is at the ready. It goes under the elbow without squeezing, okay? Just right under the elbow with the fingertips, and then send it forward by turning the waist. Under the elbow, send it forward by turning the waist. Okay, very calm, very relaxed, smooth and consistent motion. Okay, keep the weight slightly back. The weight 70-30 should just be very comfortable, like walking stance. Doesn't have to be a deep stance. You can do it at a deep stance if you want to, but it's not necessary. But keep the weight back. It will help you with your spinal alignment to avoid leaning forward. So even though you're dropping open the elbow, you don't want to lean forward. Okay? Good. Okay. Let me move back here. Okay, so here we are. So we're in a 70-30 walking stance, and we're actually going to do some walking. So here we are with our threading posture, our beginning posture. So same leg, hand and foot, back hand at the level of the elbow. Then from here, duck dive under, send it forward. So just do a couple standing right here. And then you're going to take a step forward. And really, it doesn't matter like the hands and the feet motion. It shouldn't matter which hand goes first, or you're not in lockstep with your breath or your feet. But when you decide to move forward, open your front toe like you're opening a door. So just open it up 30 degrees Good, and then step up to empty stance first so that you know that you're straight up and down. And then step forward just in a walking stance, not very far. And then thread, turning the waist, putting the foot down as you turn the waist and open your hip to release energy into your front foot. Okay? And then do a couple here. Keep the weight back. And again, it doesn't matter which hand is forward when you decide to take your step, but when you decide to take your step, open the toe and then step to empty stance first so that you're upright. Then step forward with an empty heel. Your weight is always in the back. Weight's always in the back. Then when you put the toe down, you're turning and putting the weight into your toe. Your toe is still pointed forward. Okay? Toe is still pointed forward. You only open the toe when you're going to walk through it. So only open the door if you know the coast is clear, and then walk through to empty stance. You're still checking to see if the coast is clear. You're stepping forward, your weight is back, empty heel, and then you're going to turn your waist to drive the motion through to the front. Okay, open the toe to move forward, open your hip, step through to empty, then step forward. Okay, good. And you should also move backwards. Move backwards is a little bit challenging, and it's even more important to return to your empty stance. Okay, so we're going to do it together. So as you go back, return to empty stance, all your weight's on the back leg, then step back, not very far, toe first, then the heel, open the toe, then glide your weight back as you thread, and then close the toe like you're closing the door behind you. Okay, so make sure the door is closed behind you, and then thread here, keep your weight back. So when you're here, you're focusing on your verticality, your spinal quality, the space in the spine, and the movement of the waist generating the movement of the arms. So when come back here, empty stance. You can even thread here a little bit if you want to. Then step back toe first. Then close the door behind you. Close the door behind you as you shift your weight fully back into 70%. Okay, step back to empty. Make sure your spine is straight. Step back, close the door behind you. Okay. And then you can get more comfortable with this. You feel the motion driving from your hip rotation, and your arms become more and more relaxed. Your shoulders are relaxed. And then you can start to play around, right? So you can try and trick yourself like you don't know when exactly you're moving, and that you can go forward and back, and that you're not in lockstep with your arm motion and your foot motion. Okay, so here you also want to make sure that you're in contact with your own body. So you want to start to sensitize this area of your arm so that it becomes as sensitive as your palm. Okay, so doing this so that you're sensitizing all the area of your arms, the top, the bottom, the outside, the inside. You want to increase your awareness and your articulation. You're actually building neuromuscular sensory pathways from your brain to this area. Okay, we have a lot here already. So you want to start mapping onto this area too. Martial arts is a very important area. Okay, so you want to be able to keep the muscle belly soft and supple because your attention is in your core and your waist rotation. When the muscle belly is soft, that means you can read whoever you're in contact with. If your muscle belly is rigid, then you've pretty much only committed to your own expression of this muscle tissue. It becomes one note, right? Everything gets contracted into the center of the muscle, right? And so you're expressing something, a singular thing, but you're not reading anything. So you're not gaining any fresh information. So instead, if you can keep this muscle belly soft and supple as you're moving, you're reading and you can adjust to every situation and every moment as it arises, right? This is how we're using Taiji as a moving meditation. A moving meditation, you keep that meditative, observant quality moving in your body because you keep that supple body and mind all over, and you distribute it head to toe, toe to head, to every extremity. Okay? You distribute it all throughout the body. Okay, so I hope that was a useful lesson for you for threading. Do practice this at home in solo practice. And then when you come to classes, you practice it with a partner. Everything changes when you're in contact with a partner. There's so much more information, but it becomes really fun and lively. So I encourage you to join in. Okay, so from here, sink in your stance. Just in closing, big circle, keep your core engaged. Exhale down the front. Good. Big inhale. Feel the feet. Feel the crown. Good. Lengthen the back. Feel the feet. And then feel the crown. Good. Bring your feet together. Fold the hands one on top of the other. Massage your belly. Bringing in and storing the qi in the lower dantian 3 times each direction. Then warm the hands. And from there, washing the face with the qi. Face, sides of the heads, jawline. Face, sides of the head, jawline. You're still using your core. All the principles are still there with all of your movement. And then distributing the qi like a mist from above to below, to every extremity. All right. Thanks for joining our class. Hope you enjoyed it. Bring what you learned into your day and into your daily activities. See you next time.